so binge worthy. I finished these books in like a week. Hey everyone, my past 4 videos were about the books from the Dirty Air series by Lauren Asher. We started off with Throttled, we talked about Collided, then Wrecked, and we ended off with Redeemed. I talked about my favorite characters, my favorite scenes, favorite moments. I wanted to post a quick little wrap-up video and discuss my overall thoughts of the series. I'll also be answering a few questions that I saw on my TikToks that I posted relating to the Dirty Air series. If you haven't seen those, I'll link my TikTok in the description below. I'll also link the rest of the book reviews in the description below in case you want to hear a little bit more about each of those books. So let's get on to it, but before we start, I should say quick spoiler warning. I'm going to be talking about specific characters, specific scenes, my favorite moments. So if you haven't read the series, make sure to go read those books first. I'll also link the books in the description below, so check those books out first and then come back and watch this video. First off, I have to say, F1 facts were accurate and easy to understand. I had a few questions on my TikTok of F1 fans asking if the books were accurate or if their experience would be ruined, and honestly, Asher really did her research. A side note slash little story time, but I promise you it makes sense and it relates to the series and what I'm trying to say right now. After graduating with a Soc and Crim degree, I found myself rarely being able to enjoy TV shows that are action-filled or cop and criminal studies related because of how unrealistic the plot or the characters' roles are. So like for LA's Finest, there were just so many things that were exaggerated in the show, like the cops would pull out their guns all the time when it wasn't even necessary, or they would talk about cases outside of the precinct. They even had a hacker working with them who would hack into suspects' computer system. They used crazy technology to solve cases. So as much as I love intense and high adrenaline action-filled shows, sometimes it can be hard to find a balance and not go overboard with the false reality and false information. The reason I'm saying this is because now that I have my degree and my mindset is changed, I found myself fact-checking when I read books because I want to know, is this location accurate? Is this event real? Is it nearby? Can I go to it one day? So during the series, I often looked up F1 information just to, make sure it was accurate. There was this one specific scene. I believe it was in Collided or Throttled. The girl and her friend were talking about the Canadian Grand Prix. The friend was like, we can go to Niagara Falls. And I was thinking, this is kind of sus. Is Niagara Falls really that close to the Canadian Grand Prix? Keep in mind, it was 2 a.m. when I was reading this. This series is so binge worthy. I finished these books in like a week. But yeah, so it was 2 a.m. What did I do? I pulled up Google Maps. I searched Canadian Grand Prix track circuit and I searched the distance from the circuit to Niagara Falls. Driving takes 6 hours and 22 minutes without tolls. So when I was reading this, I was like, I think Asher made a mistake with this one moment. But then when I read on, the girl was talking to her guy. She said to him, can you believe my friend said we could go to Niagara Falls? Do you know how far away that is? So then I was like, okay, Lauren got the plot correct. She did her research, she wrote it well, and it was actually really funny, and it's something I'll definitely remember from the series. I talked about this in my second video where I talked about the second book, Collided. I read Collided first because I saw a promo on TikTok for it, and then I read Throttled, Wrecked, and Redeemed. And honestly, I thought Collided was amazing. And then I read Throttled and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And then I read Wrecked. And oh my gosh, my heart was in my throat. And when I read Redeemed, I thought I was gonna catch a break. But again, my heart ripped out of my chest. The relationship developments and the friendship developments between the characters throughout the books were written so well. Let's talk about favorites. I can't choose a favorite couple. Each couple is unique in their own separate ways. Obviously, they all have different tropes, whether it's brothers rival to lovers, friends to lovers, forced proximity slash enemies to lovers, and fake dating. They all have different tropes. They bring different things to the table. If I could rank the couples, it's so tough, but I think I would say Noah and Maya, Jackson and Elena, Liam and Sophie, and then Santiago and Chloe. But like, they move around sometimes. I go through phases. Like, same with the favorite guy. Oh my gosh, my favorite F1 guy in the series. At first, I thought it was Liam, Noah, Jax, and Santiago. But I've kind of moved around, and I think it's Noah and Jax tied for first, and then Liam, and then Santiago. but they're all winners in my heart, okay? For favorite girls, one thing I loved about the series was Lauren Asher gave the girls really solid personalities, and they weren't boring, they weren't bland. Like, they actually had ambitions, that drive and motivation and interests that they brought to the table, and like passions. I absolutely loved that she took the time to include details about both characters, the guys and the girls, and their struggles and things that they love. I talked about this in the first video in Throttled. I wish I could be Maya, because she is this YouTuber who's doing so well, and then she has Noah, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's goals right there. It is so sad when I'm reading about a fictional character and I wish I could be them. I would love to live my life like Sophie's. She lives her life with no regrets, and I absolutely love that about her. I strive to have the ambitious drive that Chloe does and that positivity that she has no matter what the circumstance. Elena, her boss babe vibes, oh my gosh, I love it. She is so organized, she is so hardworking, so dedicated. She puts others before her, and I love her for that. I also love the series because they're a series of books that can be read as a standalone. The characters appear in one another's stories, even if the story is about a main couple. So like, Collided is about Liam and Sophie, but Noah from Throttled still makes an appearance, and Jackson Santiago still make an appearance as well. It's just this whole big universe, and it's just, I love it so much. I have no idea if there's a trope or a term or a plot to call this, but I just say, you know, a series that can be read as a standalone. I hope to find more books like these because I love these types of series, and I read it with Off Campus and Crimson Elite. So like, I absolutely love those series that can be read as standalones. Even though I'm gonna read all the books, I still love being able to read about a main story, but then have the characters from other books come in as like the side characters. Overall, I hold the series really close to my heart. I'm so excited to read more of Asher's work. She announced her next series. It's called The Fine Print, which is a billionaire slash office romance novel. I believe it's going to be a series. I don't know how many books are going to be in the series, but this first one is grumpy slash sunshine and like employee slash boss trope, so I'm looking forward to reading it. That is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I'm so happy that I got to make these videos. I absolutely love this series. I talk about the series all the time. My sister doesn't read, and I talk to her about the books all the time. And then this is in the F1 universe, and I recently found out my cousin watches F1, and my uncle has been watching it since like the 90s, and I'm just here like, hello, how did I not know this? They literally went to the Canadian Grand Prix, and I was like, hello, I would have hid in your car and like came with you if I knew. But so I was obsessing over the books with Sarah and telling her, I was like, you should read it. And she did mention she thought that it felt like Wattpad vibes, which I got a few comments in my TikTok as well. I don't believe she has a Wattpad account, but you can find the series on Amazon. If you check the Goodreads app, you can see all of her other books, which she's only written these 4 so far, and then The Fine Print is her next book. On that note, I'm gonna end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed this whole series as much as I did reading and filming these videos. If you did, give it a thumbs up, comment down below any book recommendations and book related videos you'd like to see on this channel. Subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notification bell, and until next time, I'll see you later.